7 o'clock, part of the Las Vegas Fantasy Football Conference that just went down September 2nd at Ellis Island, located in front yard, located inside Ellis Island. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space. I'm accompanied with he a little late, Brother Fox, my brother from another mother. He's here. He gonna mute. Big E, Warden of the South. How are you doing, King?
Hey, blessed and highly favored. I landed on the runway, you know what I'm saying? I shot here, got a little rest, but I'm ready to, to talk that talk, talk that sass, you know what I'm saying? So let's get it.
I hear it. Brother Fox, you got audio?
Yeah, I got audio now.
There he is.
Ooh.
How you holding up?
I'm good. Landed this afternoon, had a little drive back from the airport, but hey, it's a beautiful day.
Nice. Well, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button. Brother Fox, tell them how to take care of us.
As always, y'all can give us that HBO special. If you don't know what the HBO special is, the Help a Brother Out special. So help some brothers out. Hit that like button, subscribe. It truly goes a long way.
Yes,
It does. Shout out to the shot callers for giving us the platform to do what we do so well. Quickly, let's talk about Vegas. Let's talk about Vegas. How did you guys leave the draft feeling? How you feel, Brother Fox?
Extremely confident. As I told Seven at the draft, I said, look, I don't know if everybody out there understands our draft process, but there's like a winners league. There's something called in the club, meaning that you potentially could get relegated if you don't finish in the top four. So in this league, after we drafted, I told Seven, I said, hey, if I don't make the playoffs, just kick me out. It's some of these drafts are real questionable. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different league. It's not your traditional charity league. It's not a league where you let your followers draft for you. It's not a league with all kinds of funky scoring. It's a standard league, but it's a competitive league just for the simple fact that there's relegation and promotion. 2 conferences, bottom 4 teams of each conference. One gets bumped out of the entire conference. One gets promoted to the lower league. But if you do well in the lower league, you get promoted to the bigger league. So it's one of the most competitive out there. I appreciate you gentlemen taking the time to pull up. Big E, talk about your team.
Oh yeah, I definitely love my team. I like I said, I was drafting for the fans. I wanted y'all to get good choices. You know what I'm saying? But what's up? What's up? Oh, there he is. I thought I saw you in Vegas, my brother. What's going on? Albert in the house.
He was in Brother Fox's league.
Yeah, you're in Brother Fox's league. You didn't even know it. But I felt good. Like I said, I drafted for the fans, but then I drafted for myself in the draft. So I got Kelsey in around 6th pick. That was fine. And then Devontae Adams, then Devonta Smith. So after you set your first 3 down, I like that. You know what I'm saying? And it rolled on. My running back's a little bit weaker. I think that everybody, if you look at the scoring, you know how they have the scoring set up. That we're clearly about even. Everybody knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I like your team the best, Seven, just because of the Jonathan Taylor pick a little bit later. If he comes back and he pans out, then that's going to be big. But I would definitely try to trade him. And I wouldn't mind you trading them to me, so I'm gonna throw that out there.
Hey, you gotta respond. If I call, you gotta pick up, baby. You can't just leave me on ring. Eventually, you're gonna have to answer. And then, Seven, you ain't give me enough time to pick up the phone. Yeah, no, brother, pick up the phone. You hear me knocking? Let me in.
You putting time up there. I was like, let me go ahead and just delete this trade. You put time up there. Let me go ahead and help you out.
Yeah. Brother Fox, let's hear about your team.
So let's see. My team, I took Tyreek Hill in the first.
Second,
I picked at number 9. I picked at 9. So
that's good value.
Picked Tyreek Hill. Second round, I got Devontae Adams. Third round, I went Ramondre Stevenson. Fourth round, I took Lamar Jackson. Fifth, I got Alexander Madison. Sixth, I got Scary Terry. And then I got Dalvin Cook in the 8th. I got Lockett in the 9th. I took a
Lockett
gamble
in the 9th.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
bro.
Y'all in the club.
Whatever. And then I saw Michael Thomas was available, and I took a chance on him because if he comes back at even 80% of what he was, misses slant, bro, he can catch a slant for him. Let's see here. Then I ended up with my tight end. I got Garrett Everett from the Chargers, who I think he's very underrated. I got the Philly defense, Daniel Carlson from the Raiders. You know, they can't score points, but they'll sure as hell kick field goals, baby.
I heard that.
Only on y'all, baby.
Lady Stockcaller real quick says 7 grabbed him before I was about to. That's for sure. I don't know who I grabbed.
Lady shot caller sniped me about 7 times, man. She was in the 5th spot.
Oh,
hey, shout out to Lady Shot Caller. She did a lot of work this weekend. She
did.
She punched in all the teams. Hey, mad respect, Lady Shot Caller. Much love.
Love you.
Her ability to draft, but also be organized and be helpful and just be a friend and be a human being is underrated, man. She's one of the kindest people in the industry, and she's actually better than a lot of your favorite analysts, including myself. So shout out to Lady Shot Caller. Got to give you your flowers.
Yes.
Everything. Like without you, there probably wouldn't be a year 3. She's talking about Jonathan Taylor. I sniped her. I guess she was gonna get him. Bet. Yeah, you the one. You the one. I appreciate you. Jonathan Taylor. I got him in the 5th round. I started my draft with was I in the 9th pick too?
You were the 9th. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I was the 9th pick, but I will say this: Tyreek Hill, who you got at 9, was the number 1 overall pick in the Diamonds.
Yeah.
That was a curveball right off the bat. But I went with Nick Chubb. I really was hoping for Bijan there, so I went with Nick Chubb. Felt like it was sturdy, reliable, no Kareem Hunt. On the turn, I actually was freestyling, no paper, no magazine. It's a live draft. And I took Najee Harris, not thinking about Devontae Adams or Amon-Ra. And that's just on me. Najee Harris a bit early for him, but solidified my RB2. I took Calvin Ridley, who I feel like is a solid wide receiver 1. Surprisingly, T. Higgins was there on the turn. So I kind of came out with 2 running backs, 2 receivers. I felt good. So I took Jonathan Taylor in the 5th round. I know 4 games is looming. Still need to get a flex. But George Kittle was there in the 6th round. And I'm not a huge fan of Kittle, but he's a dog when he's healthy. So I got him. And then I picked up James Conner in the 7th round. So he's going to fill in for Jonathan Taylor until week 5. I ended up on my bench, noteworthy players. I got Jordan Addison, who I think is going to ball and kind of fill in that.
What school did he go to again?
Oh, USC?
Okay, yeah. Cut that cat.
So you don't mess with Trojans in fantasy or in real life, huh?
Nah, I'm like, hey, but they call me the assassin. I ain't gonna say, you know what I'm saying? They put something in front of it, but, you know, it's for keeping it cool for the children. You know what I'm saying? There it is. You always
I respect you always take the high road.
Right, you know.
Yeah, one of us is gonna get it out you one time.
Right, but but as far as even Reggie Bush, who was like running back / receiver, was a bust in the NFL for me. So I said, we'll see.
Lindell White, Mike Williams, that whole USC college football team.
Liner.
I mean, even was it Maluga? Those linebackers was even kind of mid. No one really I don't think there was one Hall of Famer from that squad.
None of their defensive players. I think they may have had 1 or 2. O linemen.
Who was with the blonde hair? Not Cushing, and it was the other
Clay Matthews.
It wasn't Clay.
Oh, Clay Matthews did. He was on.
He's the only one. He's the only one.
He was tough. He was tough.
We got my bad. I got Geno Smith and Dak Prescott as my quarterbacks. That's probably my weakest spot. I don't know why. Oh, damn, playing with some savages. Yeah, man, it gets competitive. It gets really competitive. People don't travel to Vegas to lose. So people don't play around. Less alcohol was being passed around this time. People came with the relegation and promotion in effect. It got serious. You could feel that the energy was different from last year. Everyone's still playing, filling each other out. Year 3 is different now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I said, well, we couldn't eat nothing. Piggy's brother ate up all the food. Tell Piggy, man, Piggy got to come next time. His brother got too big an appetite. Piggy, we got to get you out there next time, baby.
Yeah, that we found who the real Piggy was.
Yeah,
we were in like round 5 of the draft, and I looked to my left, and I was like, who is this cat sitting at the food table? He just going at it. I'm like, I asked him, I was like, y'all know this motherfucker? And then like someone pointed, someone was like, I think that's Piggy's brother. And I was like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, shout out to Piggy, man. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. So overall, I think I got a playoff squad. Obviously, I need to make a trade and a waiver wire pickup, and obviously my players need to stay healthy. But I think having Jonathan Taylor as my flex is going to be scary.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think as long as he's not injured, as long as he plays. But I was looking at him in Fox. We just had a draft in Fox's league, Sunday Fun Day, and I said, and I don't know, Fox, did you get him? Oh, somebody got him close in between about us picking, but I mean,
who we talking about?
About 7.
Who we talking about?
Taylor.
I got Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. In our draft, I got Taylor and Kamara.
Okay, right.
So
they got some nice picks.
Yeah,
he did, Albert.
Yeah, Amon-Ra did go to USC. Is he the outlier, Big E? What you saying? How you feel about Amon-Ra?
I like Addison. I don't care what you tell.
You got to give me more than 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, St. Brown went to USC, but I mean, ain't he questionable right now?
He is with a little ankle too. That's it. Maybe I dodged the bullet. Maybe I should get Devontae Adams.
I love you, Albert, but yeah, he's questionable right now, brother. We'll talk though.
For sure.
Let's see. I'm trying to right there. So let's talk about week 1. Opening night. We got a little dance going on.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit visiting Kansas City, defending champions. What do you guys think?
I'll let Fox go first, and
I'll let you. You already know what I'm gonna say.
I want to hear you. I got to hear you, so I'll see what I'm gonna say.
I look at it this way, right?
Yeah.
The Detroit Lions are getting the hype because of how they finished the last season, but we all know one thing certain in football: how you ended last season isn't always how you're going to continue into the next season. I look at it this way. The Kansas City Chiefs are opening at Arrowhead, right? I feel like our defense, obviously we're going to be without Chris Jones, but in Chris Jones's absence in previous seasons, I think we're 11-4. You know, so the kid's talented. I feel like our defense is better than what it was last year. Offensively, we're going to put a production, and it's like, do you really think the Detroit Lions are going to be able to score more than 30 points? Because that's what it's going to take to beat Kansas City. You're going to have to play 4 quarters of sound football. You can't let up. You can't take your foot off the brake, especially opening week. We're healthy. So it's like, I think it's going to be a 34-21 game. It'll look close until halftime, and the second half we'll make those adjustments. And
I believe he is, Albert.
Tony is going to play, but I would say week 1 he's going to be a gadget guy. I wouldn't play him in fantasy.
Right.
Big E.
I think that, you know, Kansas City coming off the championship, and you know, they got the best quarterback right now in the league. So let's suspect at running back. We don't know. We still don't know about you know your boy Pacheco. We're gonna see what he does this year. I'm not sold all the way.
We know you just don't.
We're gonna see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you always know. However, you gonna win as a Kansas City player till they get traded. We talked about that too. Then you start dogging them out. But I
can't expose their weaknesses while they're on the spot.
Is it my turn? I thought it was my turn. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but Kansas City is, like I said, they're the reigning Super Bowl champs, and I think they're gonna do their thing. I say 24-35 Detroit. I'm glad you heard it here first. Detroit gonna win the game and beat them scrubs out the AFC West. Hey,
aren't you the guy who said TCU was gonna beat Colorado? You said they were gonna beat the brakes off of Colorado.
Who didn't bet on? Who didn't bet on?
Who had to pay for the Uber ride in Las Vegas? Because he lost that bet. Oh, come on, Big E.
You talking about? I was my
Colorado, yeah.
Oh,
exactly. Come on, baby.
That's easy work.
I
gave you 14 points.
Chris Jones, he's not playing.
He's not in camp. He hasn't reported. They have apparently Kansas City's given him 2 offers. He wants about $2 more million a year than what Kansas City is willing to offer him. And I think it's because in reality, we have to pay 3 free agents coming into next year. Bolton, Creed Humphrey, who's the best center in the league, and Trey Smith, who we got in the 7th round a couple years ago, who's turned out to be an elite right guard. And it's like, if we give the money to Chris Jones that he wants, one of them 3 is going to have to walk, unfortunately. And so I think they're trying to make, they're like, hey, Chris, we want to pay you Aaron Donald money, but just take a little less. And he's like, he's not going for it. So we'll see what happens. I don't expect him until at least week 2 to 3. No, he'll be back before week 8. The Chiefs will cave in before week 4.
If they win, if they go 3-0, they have they'll have the leverage. I mean, depending on the record, would depend on which side has the leverage. I think Dan Campbell is looking to run the ball down everyone's throat with no Chris Jones in that interior. I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think.
Chris Jones ain't a run stopper, though.
Still, his presence alone. I mean, it's like the Randy Moss effect. Just, the safety going to be deep. The running back's going to eat up the middle because you got to account. His presence alone is going to shift. Without him there, I think David Montgomery and Gibbs can give them some issues. I think it's going to be a 3-point game. Honestly, it's a toss-up for me. Not trying to play neutral or in between the two of you. I think Detroit is a decent team. I think Kansas City traditionally starts the season off slow, and then they start to heat up and go.
Okay.
I believe
y'all didn't start slow last year.
No,
I think so. I think that's a little disrespectful.
So,
I think
what was your record after week 5?
After week 5, we were 4-1. We lost 1 game to the Colts.
Y'all didn't lose 2 games. Y'all wasn't 2-3.
No, we lost the next game to Buffalo.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the year before last when y'all was like 2-3, 2-2.
We started that was the year that everyone kind of rid off Mahomes, and that was the 13-second year that we lost to them in the AFC Championship. But
got you.
Pat normally starts off. Yeah, Pat normally starts off pretty hot, and he's never lost the first game of the season. So
traditionally, the defense starts off slow. Without Jones, I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a little disrespectful to odds. Good gracious, 70-something%. But yeah, we'll see. First game of the season.
It's playing the Arrowhead's different though. You're playing at night. It's loud, and Jared Goff. He could turn back into a pumpkin.
Good.
He could. Last time he played the Chiefs, he looked too shabby.
Hey, what, in 2018 with the stack
Rams team? You said Arrowhead was this?
No, and that game was at
that was in LA. I know.
LA. Yeah. It's a different ballgame.
All right, so what game y'all want to talk about? What game excites you with fantasy?
The Commanders and the Cardinals. That look like that's a juicy. Nah, I'm just playing. Y'all go ahead.
I think an interesting game for fantasy purposes would be 49ers and Steelers.
Pittsburgh. I feel like that was the one.
Yes. So what do you think, Seven? Because I'm hearing all these Steelers fans. They've been in my ear, bro. They've been in my ear.
Oh, no, dude. 49ers should win. If Bosa doesn't play, we could maybe get sneaky. We do play better on the East Coast than we do the West. Whenever we play the Raiders and or the Niners or the Chargers, when we have to travel to the West, it's never a pretty sight. So I like at least that we're at home. Kind of similar to Chris Jones. If Bosa doesn't play, that changes the whole dynamic of the game. You got an all-pro player missing. I don't care what position it is. It's going to hurt a team. I don't think Pittsburgh will win, but it could be a closer game. Kenny Pickett looks to take a smaller step forward. O-line is improved. Najee Harris is going to get fed, and hopefully Pickett can make some completions to Pickens and Johnson. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, I think, like I said, I think that Pittsburgh, it's, like I said, it's NFL. I mean, it's the NFL, so Pittsburgh could win. I mean, I think they could pull off, what some would say an upset, but I think Pittsburgh is going to be sneaky good this year anyway. So
Facts.
I wouldn't say it's going to be an upset. I would say that, I don't know. I mean, Purdy, he's coming back. You don't know how, they're going to scheme, if they're going to try to go Kittle. If Kittle's even, he says a questionable on, if they're going to play him a lot. Like you said, Bosa's going to be out, or possibly. So we'll definitely see. But I would give it a 50-50 shot. I mean, I wouldn't like to pick that on a football sheet, you know what I'm saying, on a pool. But if I had to, I probably would go San Fran if I had to. But I might have to correct it and go Pittsburgh. I mean, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm actually leaning more towards Pittsburgh.
Right.
I think the 49ers they do have a stacked squad. They are talented. But I feel like people are overlooking Pittsburgh. Like Pittsburgh has rebuilt their offensive line. They've looked very good. Kenny Pickett, they say quarterbacks take the biggest jump between year 1 and year 2. He's coming into year 2 more comfortable in the system. He has the requisite weapons around him. 3 solid wide receivers, solid tight end. Najee Harris, if he can return to his rookie year form like he was a couple of years ago, which I think he will with the solid offensive line. I feel truly the 49ers are on upset alert. I wouldn't be shocked if Pittsburgh won by 10 points.
Ooh. We'll see. We'll see. It'd be nice to have a healthy Fitzpatrick and Watt out there. Little long in the tooth. Patrick Peterson will be a serviceable second cornerback, but the defense is always going to keep it close. It just depends on what the offense can do. Let's see. Who else y'all want to talk about? We got what's the Sunday night game or the Monday night? Let's talk
that's
about
gonna be hell.
Let's talk about it for fantasy purposes and for AFC standings. It's a true test. It's a true test. Rodgers gets tested right off the bat. What you got, Biggie?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's gonna be a game. But I think that I don't know if the Jets had enough chemistry, to mess with Buffalo yet. I mean, some people might say, hey, the Jets gonna be, winners, automatically because they got, Dalvin Cook and everything. But you got to mesh. You got to, cohesiveness. You know what I'm saying? They got to be good. You know what I'm saying? They got to get it right. So Buffalo's been together. They've had their players, for a little while now, and I mean, they know what's up. I like Josh Allen. I told Brother Fox, I know he disagrees, but I think Allen's gonna be the number 1 QB this year. Honestly, I think that he's really gonna shine in this game, and he's gonna score a few touchdowns. No running back situation for me, but Cook's been showing out, and he got the pedigree. So, yeah, I got Buffalo.
Yeah, it's it might be a little early for the Jets. It definitely is going to take a few weeks, especially because they've only played one game as a full team together, the final preseason game of the year, and they look good that first drive, but they had some sloppy moments in drive 2. My thing is, I think it's all going to come down to pass rush on Buffalo's side. Where is it going to come from? Von Miller's hurt. He's on the PUP list, so he's out for at least 4 games. And then we have they just traded Boogie Basham, the kid they drafted in the first round a couple of years ago. They traded him to New York, the Giants. So I'm looking here at the Jets, and I'm thinking their weak spot is their offensive line. And traditionally, Aaron Rodgers playing against solid pass rushes is when he has those bad games. So I want to know, how is Buffalo going to scheme up to get to the quarterback? Because if you let Aaron with the weapons that he has now, hell, these weapons that he has now might be better than any of his time. Oh, no, I wouldn't say any of his time, but probably comparable to some of his greater teams there in with the Packers. So I see I feel like it's going to be a close game. But I do think Buffalo's going to take it, but I think that the Jets are going to put up a hell of a fight.
I agree. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think both defenses are underrated. The Bills, you traditionally have had, at least the last 3 years, have had a top 10 defense. Jets, when healthy, have a filthy defense. They just re-sign Quentin. Obviously, they have Rookie of the Year, All-Pro Sauce on one end. I think it's going to be a close game. Bills still haven't added to that number 2 receiver. They're kind of running in the same team out there. They should have not Stephon Gilmore. What's my man's name? Cornerback. We always forget his name.
Yeah.
Every time it comes to bring it up, and at the end of the show, we'll bring it back up. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Bills are going to win, but I think it's going to be a 17-20 type of game. I don't think it's going to be this fireworks. Garrett Wilson and
Tre'Davious White.
Tre'Davious White. They're pretty even squads, but like you guys said, the chemistry is there in Buffalo. I could see them winning by 3 or 4 in a low-scoring game due to those defenses and just teams being kind of rusty.
Yeah, just saying that Gabe, but we have to talk about that one too. Gabe Davis is one of the guys in fantasy that I always have problems with. If people always have that draft still coming up, which is need to hurry up and do it. But it's like Gabe Davis for me. It's just that's the hardest guy to pick. I just keep drafting.
Gabe only goes off against Kansas City, apparently.
Right.
He's a Kansas City killer over here, bro.
Hey, well, I might have to draft him then.
That's fun though.
Hey, he got Pittsburgh for a cool little 90 yarder, so y'all ain't alone.
He just ain't played us yet, but he'll get us too, trust me.
Right? Yeah. I don't know what it is about Gabe Davis. I just never trusted him. I feel like he's someone I've never owned. Never.
Yeah. Right. Or somebody sends you that trade after that 4 touchdown game, and you're like,
Right.
right.
Let's wrap it up with this. Albert says he's looking forward to this Miami Dolphins Chargers game. Brother Fox, what you got for the people?
I think this is probably the hardest game of the week to pick. Truth be told, I feel like this is an even push. It's if we look by what happened last year with the Miami Dolphins coming out the gate, they played against Baltimore and they lit up the scoreboard. Chargers defense has been suspect. DBs have been suspect. Like but they have been dealing with injuries for the past few years. I honestly feel that this game could be a track meet on both ends. Both teams are going to put up points. I could see both quarterbacks throwing 3+ touchdowns. Especially Jalen Ramsey is going to be out for a significant amount of time for the Dolphins. I would say 27-24. AFC West hate is going to push me toward the Dolphins.
Yeah.
What about you, Biggie?
Hey, I'm on the same thing. I think, not to say, Eckler, he started fast, when Melvin Gordon was there, and then he just came out and just exploding. But the other years for me, as far as I say, he always finishes strong. But I always think he gets off to a slow start. And that's why, Dolphins don't even really have a true, RB1. It's like, was it A-Chain or whatever? He's hurt.
Right.
Mostert, all those guys. So I'm leaning for me. I like the Chargers. I think it's going to be a pass-happy game, obviously. It's going to be, back and forth. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well, my friend. I just can't see myself going with the Bolts on this one.
I can't get that image of that playoff game. Like, how are you up 4 touchdowns to the Jacksonville Jaguars and just let them come back and stomp on you? Albeit their number 1 cornerback was out for the majority of last season, the kid they traded for from the Patriots. But at the same time, it's like, hey, 4 touchdowns, that's coaching. And I think that's the biggest issue here is coaching. Like, do you really trust the Chargers head coach to be able to put together a game plan for all 4 quarters? Because he goes for 4th down almost every time down the field, which seems to set his team back and put the other team in position to score. And
this is the same head coach that called the timeout, which allowed the Raiders to send Pittsburgh to the playoffs.
Exactly.
The previous year. Yeah, I'll ride with the Dolphins. I'm sold. I would feel more confident, obviously, if Ramsey was playing. But they still got Xavier Howard. They got some dogs on defense. We know what they bring to offense. The running back, the backfield kind of scares me, and I'm hoping Jonathan Taylor ends up in Miami by week 5. But I think the Dolphins can win this one, and I feel like it's a neutral site, right?
Yeah, hey, Chargers don't have no home field. It's
a neutral field.
They play 17 away games.
Winning this and just running away with it.
Yeah.
You guys got anything you guys want to add before we wrap it up?
Just have one question. Did anybody know like anything more about? I know they was reassessing Cup, but Waddle. I was kind of like, I don't have no stocks of Waddle, but I was just wondering for this game, you would like to have a healthy Waddle and Tyreek going into this.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, if he's not available, then Tyreek will eat and get fed, but he'll also get double teamed.
Right. So I'm thinking I might go.
He's gonna be double teamed either way.
Yeah, it's true. He might be triple teamed if Waddle's banged up.
Right.
So,
well, man, that concludes another episode of Fantasy Football Safe Space. Come back next week. Laugh, cry, drink with us. Your fantasy woes away because we'll actually know. We'll have an idea of the standings. Hopefully, you guys take dubs. Brother Fox, before we leave, how can the good folks take care of us?
As always, y'all can give us that HBO special. If you don't know what the HBO special is, it's the Help a Brother Out special. So help a brother out. Hit that like button, subscribe. It truly goes a long way.
There it is. Take care, y'all. See you next week, 7:00. Peace.
Go Chiefs.